something that's successful, the innocence goes. The characters are no longer characters, they're people that need to be assigned to rehabilitation clinics. Nutty guys and eccentrics and flakes. You don't hear that word anymore. You hear guys who are arrested, you hear troublemakers, you hear all these things that society will beat you down. There's more focus, there's more money, there's more fame, there's more adulation, there's more everything, and yet there's less authenticity. And that there just can't be those good old days. I think it's still worth playing, but I tell you what, as a writer, it's damn hard to find any NFL player who does anything in the off-season. We used to look at Sports Illustrated, who's got a great hobby, who's got a great off-season job, who does something really different in the off-season. Now, besides doing commercials, lifting weights, playing Game Boy, watching movies at home in the entertainment center, partying, and practicing, they don't do anything. And, that's not like the old days, man. Some of those Kansas City Chiefs guys would leave after the season and, maybe get knee surgery or whatever, and while they're rehabilitating, they'd be like riding herd on a ranch in Texas. Some of the guys would go right to running a gas station. Other guys would go right, they'd be bankers, they'd be mortgage bankers. They could be in the Super Bowl 3 weeks ago, and then people would be coming to them and saying, I'd like to try to get this house. And so, those times have changed, although there were guys who lived like lords and kings then, too. The actual performance was more blue collar. The players still came from all over, from every walk of life. From even at that time, there were still Ivy League players who were good. There were players from the small black colleges. The Chiefs were full of them. There were players from the Pac-10, the Big Ten. All different lifestyles. But the one thing was, you just had more leeway. A simple thing such as now, it's against the law to drive without a seatbelt. Well, back then, they didn't have seatbelts. Guys smoked. I remember being in the Steelers locker room doing a story on Jack Lambert. He had, along with some of the other players, an ashtray bolted to his locker. The Chiefs' locker room was full of smoke. There's one of the players, and I won't say who, had a pint, I think it was of Old Crow in his locker, that he might need. Hey, it was like, you can play this tough man's game, kind of like if you didn't get arrested and, you show up on time and you play your ass off, do whatever you want to do. The NFL has a real problem with its product because it becomes more and more cutthroat, more and more vicious because of the ulterior motive, which is broadcasting. That's basically what the NFL is all about. It's about, it's only 16 Sundays, so you get the stadium people fired up in your community, but then it's the TV rights, the Super Bowl is a TV thing. It's a production. It's the same thing as like Friends or something else. It is basically, the Super Bowl arena is essentially a studio for television. And when that happens, everybody that plays the game becomes an actor in some way or the other. You take your Sharpie and you sign a football, well, good, bad, or whatever, that's a TV act. If you didn't have a TV camera, I guarantee you, nobody would see it. You can't even see that. If you can be at the game and you'd say, the guy just ran behind a goalpost and celebrated, but no big deal. There's no camera on him. So everything you do, the good and the bad, is scrutinized. People are mic'd in training camps. Once that happens, there's like a scientific principle that you observe something that changes the actual thing itself. So it becomes artificial and it becomes less real. You don't know when somebody is playing for real or when it's acting because of TV. So the NFL is protecting first and foremost its business. Is that good for football? I don't know. Football, got to be careful that it doesn't become just roller derby.